Hello everyone, Robert Owen here. You probably don't recognize me, but I can assure you I'm an interesting person. Now let me take you back to 1771. I was just born in Wales, living an ordinary life up until the age of industrialization, where I became a manufacturer and a social reformer. I helped run a cotton mill in New Lanark, Scotland, helping with manufacturing things that changed the everyday lives of people. With this, many people became rich and very thriving with their newfound earnings and inventions. However, I was a witness to the true horrors of what was going on in the back of all this success. I saw just how poorly other factories and companies would treat their workers. I didn't just want to stand there and not do anything to provide support, so I began to fight for them to get treated better and eventually help others globally. But before I get into those topics in greater detail, let me tell you a little bit about myself and what my life was like. Every morning, I would keep watch on the factory workers, making sure they were doing their jobs properly and not slacking off. I believed that I needed to create a safe and healthy environment for my workers and keep everything nice and clean. Did I also mention that we had a school we ourselves made? Well, we did, and we had made it to give our workers the opportunity to learn instead of just forcing them to work all the time. I would talk with managers, check the machines to ensure they weren't faulty, and ensure that the environment I had built up for my workers was properly put in place. I had actually built houses near the cotton mills so that workers wouldn't have to go through the hassles of traveling all the way from their homes to the factory and back. While it's not entirely perfect, I'm proud of what we had accomplished and set goals for. But I wouldn't have to do this if other factories weren't so poorly managed, and that's where I believe all the injustice has affected workers. Even children aren't safe from the horrors within a factory. I felt like something needed to be done, but no one seemed to care. I questioned the authority of many, trying to get them to see what their actions had caused, yet no one listened. I once said, society may be formed so as to exist without crime, without poverty, with health greatly improved. I stand by my statement and wish that others could open their eyes and treat everyone with love and respect. I continued to show my support by preventing young children from working at my factory. I even lowered working hours so that workers could be more attentive to their homes and education, and provided them with food. Even though I knew I was doing the right thing, I could sense the judgment coming from other people, with some calling me insane for putting so much effort into my ideas. But I wouldn't let those words get to me. A phrase that I remember to this day was from a young factory girl. She said, "We are working like beasts." Those were the words that told me to change the environment of my factory to relieve them from the pain they were suffering. People call this time progress, but is it really progress when only one side of the people are succeeding while the other is left to die? I think not. Before the age of industrialization, most people focused on agriculture and producing goods for everyone. Now those same people are forced to work in factories with terrible working conditions. People argue that this caused a shift in people's lives, and I agree, but that change hasn't been for the better. I could no longer bear to witness the injustices that workers had to suffer. That's why I founded my own town called New Harmony, so that those who suffered could help one another. And while it wasn't a success, it did help those who believed the same things as I did hope for a brighter future. I've helped people in Britain start up their unions to have their voice heard. Seeing how dedicated and determined they were gave me the idea to start the Grand National Consolidated Trades Union, a union founded by me and a group of others in 1834. We wanted to show what workers could accomplish if they worked together as a collective to fight for what they wanted, that being a better future. And while the world has helped change workers' lives for the better, we still have a long way to go before we can confidently say that we reached the goal we set for ourselves. I may not be able to provide any more support to those still fighting the great battle, but I can rest easy knowing that others still fight for ideas similar to mine. I knew the position I was put in and used it to my advantage to help those in need of support. I believe everyone should continue to treat workers with the utmost respect and care and continue growing stronger over time. Workers aren't machines, they are human beings just like us who deserve the same respect, safety, and hope. We have four things. That's the world I dream of having one day, and I know that one day that dream will come true.